everybody, this is Jeannie and this is the card we're going to do today. I thank you for stopping by. I did this card for the Bitten by the Bug design team, and we were supposed to use this cut from Hannah, Montana that said ready to rock. I didn't have that cut, but I was able to create it with George and the letters from Learning Curve. This is what the inside looks like. There wasn't anything on the outside that I could put on the inside this week, so it just matches here. Okay, my son said that I needed to be sure and show y'all everything I used, so that's what I'm going to do. I used my tape gun. I used my quilling glue with this little fine tip. I used a wedgie makeup sponge to apply my Close to Cocoa water-based dye ink from Stampin' Up. You can use any water-based dye ink or any ink you're comfortable with. I'm just comfortable with the water-based dye ink. I used a hole punch for all these little holes, these little punched holes. And I used this basic gray granola paper for all my paper today. These right here, all the squares right here are cut from George. Even the square inside here. The letters from Jesus are from Songbird, and I welded those letters together to create Jesus. And those letters weld together beautifully. If you're looking for a cartridge that has letters that weld together pretty, then you need to get Songbird. All my other letters are from Learning Curve. The shadow of Ready to Rock I welded to this square, and the two I laid on top of there, and I didn't weld it. That way it would cut the hole out. And then these letters are not the shadow. They're the regular letters, and in a little while we're going to put them on top of the shadow letters. People have asked me to show a little bit about my gypsy, and I'm going to try to today. Okay. Hope you can see that. This is my Ready to Rock. I meant to have all that out. Okay, this is my rectangle that I talk about right here. I put it on my page. I ungroup it and I hit real dial size, and I make the width. I made the width of this one the same as my background piece, which is 4 3/4, and I made the height 3 1/2 inches. So when I did my Ready to Rock, see how everything in red is welded and this 2 part is not welded. Then it's all grouped together where I can move it around together. But see, I put that there, and I used my advanced feature and this little turn button to turn it and get it like I was going to put it on my card. And that's a little bit too far. There we go. I was going to place it right here. This is the little piece my Jesus is on, the Jesus word is on. And it fit in the rectangle. I'm going to move this up a little bit. And then I wanted the 4 right here. That way I could size them. I could change the size up or down till they fit right in my thing. If you built your Ready to Rock and it was all too big, if it's grouped together and you change the size, the whole thing will change. But now if you have some extra letters, you need to be really careful about doing that. So I hope that was a little bit helpful. Maybe I can show you more about the gypsy later. I've got to watch this video and see how well that came out first. But you'll place all that on your mat together by how you're going to cut it out with color. And then you can just take this right here and delete it from your mat before you cut everything out. The first thing we're going to do, first thing I'm going to show you is how this is my card base is 4 1/4 by 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. My frame piece right here is 4 by 5 1/4. My background piece is 3 1/2 by 4 3/4. That's the same on the inside. And then my sentiment piece right here is 2 3/4 by 4. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to ink around the edges of everything, and then we're going everything that has shadows or is connected to another piece. I'm going to go ahead and put those together. Show you how to ink on this piece. I just dab my sponge on my ink pad, And I go around all the edges like that. And I'm going to do this on every piece to my card. I've already done it on all my background pieces and my card base. Okay, I'm back, and here's what I did. I inked around all the pieces, and I want you to pay close attention here. See, on this Jesus, I inked around this part and around the bottom and around the top, and in there a little bit if I could, but I didn't worry about it. It's just enough to make it stand out from the background piece of the paper. When you want to ink something like inside, if you'll come from behind, it won't matter if you mess up, you know, it doesn't matter if it gets all over the back. If you come in from behind, you could get the insides of those pieces. And that's what I did on this too. Now the next thing I'm going to do is everything that I glue directly to the card is what I'm going to work on next. And so I'm going to show you that. Okay, these are all the things I glued directly to the piece of paper. The little frame that has Jesus on it. I hope you can see that now. These are all the things I glued directly to the paper. The frame that has Jesus on it, one of the fours, and this that's going to go behind your Ready to Rock where you'll have the beige too. Okay. Everything else I've added pop dots to. If you will like take a piece of that shiny stuff and put on your pop dot, you can slice right through it with a pair of sharp scissors. And then that way when you need smaller pieces you can get them. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is put the 4, pop this 4 on top of this other 4. I'm going to pop this square directly on top of this square. And I'm going to pop Ready to Rock right over that. Now let me show you on this. Be sure, since where these little floppy pieces are, be sure and get a pop dot in there where they'll stick down and they won't get bent or anything. We're going to place it right on top of here. Now since this part of my exclamation point was not attached, that's why I cut out all these millions of dots. The only one I inked around was the one that's going to be on the very top. Place that where it needs to be. And then in a minute, I'm going to glue one on top of the other till I get it as thick as I want, where it'll look right. See how I've done that? The only one I bothered to ink around is the one on top. And this is what the final card looks like. Ready to rock. All the cut sizes are listed on my blog, www.aplaceformycard.blogspot.com. All the cartridges and the exact size that I cut, all my cuts. And there'll be pictures on my blog too where you can see a still picture and reference that. That's what the inside looks like. And I hope you have a blessed day and come back to see me.